I was having difficulty with my relationship with my wife, and I decided that there was a man that I was um, close with. My primary connection with him was through a 12-step program that I was part of. The Mankind Project was a very important part of his life. And so I decided to honor him.
Hey guys, thanks again for tuning back into the podcast. And in today's episode, I was honored to be joined by a special guest who is a key figure for a group known as Mankind Project, or in other words, MKP for short, Tom Caruso. So please stick around to hear insights about what he shared with me and also how you can get involved. And so without further ado, let's get back to the show. Hey guys, welcome back to the Roundtable. Today I'm here in beautiful Capalaba on this crisp winter afternoon, and I'm so honored to be joined by a special guest, Tom Caruso, who is behind Mankind Project here in Queensland, also known as MKP. But before we kick off, as always, the Roundtable symbolizes a safe space where stories are shared, voices heard, and lessons learnt. So, if you're out walking about or chilling out on your couch, settle in, because every story shared here matters. Tom, welcome to the Roundtable.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
And I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to jump on the show and just kind of educate us more about MKP and what it represents here in Queensland.
Yeah, well, the Mankind Project in Queensland represents an organization that's been here for about 20 years. There's a group of men who experienced a training we call the New Warrior Training Adventure in the U.S. around 2000 or 1999, and they decided that it needed to be here in Australia, so they came here, found a number of men in America who could come over here and help them set that up, and they started training men. We now have approximately 4,000 men trained all throughout Australia. Something like about 1,500 of those or 2,000 of those here in Queensland. Okay, and those men are meeting in circles all through southeastern Queensland, and also we have circles in Cairns and Townsville, and they meet frequently every week, and they just support one another, help one another through various different trials in their lives. And the training is really about making yourself more aware of why you do the things that you do. What is the real driver behind the decisions that you're making in your life? And so the idea with the circles is to help you integrate that training into your life.
Okay, so can we just kind of circle back to the beginning of where it all started for you, how you got involved, and what was the inspiration behind that?
So I got involved in 2004 in the U.S., America. I was having difficulty with my relationship with my wife, and we were having issues with regard to intimacy. So I decided that there was a man that I was close with. Primarily, I think my primary connection with him was through a 12-step program that I was part of. And he invited me to a circle. So I started coming to these circles that the Mankind Project, members of the Mankind Project, brothers of the Mankind Project, were having in Virginia, southeastern Virginia. And he died. Okay, this very close friend of mine died from a brain cancer, and that I went to his funeral, and it became very clear to me that a very big part of his life, a very important part of his life, was this training that he had attended, and in fact he had staffed. Not only did he go to the training many years earlier, but he also staffed several of these trainings, and he thought the Mankind Project was a very important part of his life. And so I decided to honor him by going to this training. The training was what I judged to be expensive for me at the time, but I decided to pay the money to make that possible so that I could go. And I attended the training, and it was transformative for my life. It reinforced some things that I had learned from other things, and it also brought a number of other insights into my life.
You've kind of summed up some of the areas of the Mankind Project with the New Warrior aspect of things that you were talking about. But can you kind of actually break down what it entails?
So the big thing about the Mankind Project is we like to increase a man's accountability and authenticity and integrity. So we like to focus in on a man's word. If a man says something that we believe that man should be doing that, what he says he's going to do, and if he doesn't say that he's going to do, if he doesn't do what he's going to say, that there's an integrity issue, and he needs to be held accountable to that. And so one of the things these circles do is that they hold men accountable to what they say they're going to do. So if I were to say that I'm going to go to the gym 3 times this week, and I'm going to do it all in this week, and then I come back to the circle the following week and say, well, I never did that, then what the circles are going to help you figure out is why you did that. Okay, why did you not do what you said you were going to do? Okay, not really to shame you or to make you feel guilty that you did that, but to get you to have better clarity about why you didn't do what you said you were going to do. And what that comes down to is there is a shadow, something you hide, suppress, and deny, and even defend, that keeps you from doing things. And typically it's something like, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, no one cares about me. Those are the kinds of things that are actually driving behavior in men that are not mature enough to see that kind of influence that they've had. And that stuff comes from way back in their past. They're bringing it from childhood, and what we're doing is making them more aware of where that's coming from, how to manage, how to become more conscious of it, and how to be better people as a result of the fact that they are more aware of it.
Say for someone that hasn't heard about the Mankind Project, how do you explain what it feels like to go through that journey?
Ooh, what does it feel like to go through that journey? Well, it's invigorating. So the journey is typically starts either at a circle where you see other men who have this integrity and have this accountability, and you see that they are very strong, and it's a feeling of, gee, I'd really like to be that guy. I really admire what that man has, and I'd really like to be more like him. And that's one of the things that sort of drives men to go to the trainings, because the trainings are where you really get the core training, the core understanding of what's going on with you at these trainings, okay? So at the training, the experience is transformative. I mean, I've felt just really energized at that training, okay? I started at the training, I started to learn a little bit about the fact that I had a sense of humor that was being hidden by a lot of my fears, and I learned my spirit name, which is the playful otter. Okay, Learned that connection was a very important part of my life. And I learned where, you know, I learned how important it was that this had come from my relationship with my parents, and how, you know, my relationship with my parents was driving a lot of my behaviors. Okay. And this was a really transformative experience for me, because I never had the slightest idea that that this was something that I could actually change. Okay. And here it was right in front of me. And it seemed like it was something that was fairly easy for me to change. And all I needed to do was keep coming together with these men, and I would get supported and be able to work through all the stuff that I had that caused me to become unconscious again, okay, so that I could remain conscious with their support, okay. And so I felt energized.
Throughout these training sessions, no doubt that you've seen so many guys that have come through and you've witnessed the transformation. Are there any particular individuals that really surprised you with the transformation, or how quick it was, or how impossible it looked at the start, and then all of a sudden they change for the better?
Well, I'm just sort of surprised. We have typically in our trainings, we have between 30 and 36 men showing up at our regular trainings here in Kunjawara, Queensland, Springbrook. And my experience is that most of those men do what you just said. They just go through a total transformation, and they make it clear to you. We have this thing we call a homecoming. So 2 days after the training goes from Friday through Sunday. Okay, so Sunday we wish them goodbye, say goodbye to them. They go down the mountain, we call it, and go back home. Okay, and then on Tuesday night we have a special thing we call the graduation and homecoming. Okay, at the graduation they stand up and tell us about their experience and how it's been for them since they came back. And I'd say, and all the men that show up at homecoming say that it was a transformative experience. They were energized. They feel a lot more powerful. They just have a lot more clarity about where they're going in life. It's, you know, it's really amazing about how many men really get transformed in this. And I should say that that's a little biased, because a lot of these men came into this training with something they needed. Okay, so I mean, if it was a random sample where we were just picking men out, you know, and having them come through the training, maybe that wouldn't happen. But these men came clearly with the intention of getting something from the training, and as a result, they got what they came for.
Okay, so for someone who would love to attend it, how do they kind of get involved with? Because maybe sometimes some of the men are either nervous to attend some of the meetings. What are some of the steps that they could take to maybe take that next step?
Well, I encourage men to have conversations with brothers, men that have gone through the trainings before. There are plenty of men that would be happy to talk to you about that. We have a manager. We have a man who's the enrollment manager who would be happy to talk to you at length about the trainings and tell you his personal experience and answer any questions that you might have. And he could always refer you to other people. There are the circles. If you are interested in particular circles, the circles have someone you can call and talk to about the circle and, you know, what that experience is like. So you can get that kind of experience. You know, when I was in that particular role where I was taking calls, I would be happy to go and visit with somebody and sit down with them and have coffee or something, just to, you know, show them that this is just a regular group of men. There's nothing special about us. It's just that we're here to support you. And Yes, it's going to take some courage to step into attending a circle, but it will be the best thing that ever happened in your life.
Hey guys, thanks again for still sticking around. And if you're finding value in today's show, then please hit that like, share, and subscribe to the channel so I can continue to reach out to other unsung heroes that are making a difference and a huge impact in the community. And so let's not delay and get back to it.
What are some of the goals in the next couple of years ahead, or in the next 5 years, that you guys would like to achieve?
So I'm the president of the Mankind Project Queensland, just to be clear. So I have been involved with regard to trying to figure out what the goals of this organization are. So we're trying to increase the number of circles in Queensland. So far, the majority of our circles are in Gold Coast, Brisbane, and Sunshine Coast. So we have a lot of circles in the southeast Queensland area, and we have one circle in Cairns, and I think we've just got two now in Townsville. Okay, the idea is to expand more broadly throughout Queensland. That's what we'd like to do. We'd like to find out ways that we can get into the more western parts of Queensland, because we know that there's plenty of men out there that probably could use this kind of support. Okay. Yeah. And in order to do that, we need to build build leadership within the program. Okay. We need to build capability to run those circles and facilitate men's work in those circles, and we need the leadership that is necessary to attract men into those circles wherever we're going to be going. So for instance, in the short term, I'm looking at creating a circle in Redlands, where we're sitting right now. There's no circle here. I'm hoping that we can create a circle in Ipswich. We're looking to hopefully be creating a circle in Toowoomba. Okay, so trying to expand the number of circles that we have is really key to what we're trying to do. The challenge that we have is there's a limited number of men in those areas, and so we need to get their energy stimulated so that we can energize them towards having regular circles and supporting other men and doing the kind of work that we do. Okay. But the other thing is that you can't just start up a circle without having expertise with regard to how we run those circles, or how men are managed or facilitated in those circles. So we need to have facilitation skills. So one of the things that we've been doing is running trainings for men who have gone through the New Warrior Training Adventure, to teach them how to be better facilitators in I groups. So we're on the second round of those kinds of trainings. I think we've done the first one, I think, had 15 men in it, and I'm not sure how many, something about the same numbers in this round. So the hope is that these men will start strengthening the circles that they're in, or spreading out to new circles.
How are you able to maintain, keeping the doors open? How do you guys fund yourself, or is there support from the community?
Yeah, so the trainings themselves, the trainings themselves essentially break even with regard to our expenses. So we really count on donations and membership fees. The membership fee is a small amount, so after going through the training, we give you a year free, but then after that year free, we ask men to donate $20. Okay, but we're also doing Bunning sausage sizzles. Fundraising. Done 3 of those this year, and hopefully we're going to do more and more of those every year. We do a swimathon, and the swimathon is this opportunity for us to fundraise to support men to go through the training. So it's not, right now that money goes to support men who need the money for the trainings that they're going to do. But the hope is that we'll be moving to a place where we'll be using some of that money for our administrative expenses as well. Okay. Yeah, and so I'm talking to Rotary. Rotary's talking to us about supporting various different projects that we would do. Um, Rotary has also been the support of our swimathon. So the first time we did a swimathon, we raised $29,000, and 10,000 of that was from Rotary itself. Okay.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, it was a great fundraising effort that we did there. And a lot of people contributed to that effort. So.
Nice. So we did talk about what the training was all about, which was to help out men improve their own, would you say, their mental state in areas that they feel like they struggle in?
Right. So to get some direction in their life, to get a better understanding of the decision, what's been driving the decisions they've made in the past, and that's the New Warrior trainings are really about teaching men about their shadows, and what we say is, at the end of the training, we ask them, "Have you touched your shadow this weekend?" And that's really sort of the key for us, is that the men that attended have touched their shadows. And the shadows, again, are those things that we hide, deny, and suppress that are driving the decisions that we make. And once you become more aware of those things, you can now start making decisions that are freed from your past, and see, have more options to you with regard to what you decide to do in a particular situation.
Well, for anyone that's listening today, what would be a couple of things that you could share with us for them to take into consideration about someone they may know who's probably going through a challenging situation? What's a few tips that you could tell them to reach out to someone that they know of, maybe a family member, and say, "Hey, look, I've just seen this podcast, and there's a group called Mankind Project." What would be some things that they could kind of ease up into talking to someone about?
I see. Yeah, sure. So I think what they can tell that man is that they're concerned about them. They've seen certain things that they've done, so trying to be descriptive about something specific that they've seen this person do, so that they are trying to indicate some empathy around the person's situation. Okay, I see that you jumped into this particular relationship, and now that relationship is falling apart. You're getting divorced, and you've just been married for 3 years, or whatever that relationship has been for you. Maybe it would help you to have some better understanding of what's going on, why you're making decisions like this. Okay, would you like to figure out why you're making those decisions? Okay, and if that's a yes answer, then let me offer you this particular opportunity to visit with these circles, because that's really what I would suggest would be the first thing they offer. Is, I know about a circle that you could visit that's in our area, and you'll get a lot of support from other men for the kinds of decisions that you're making.
And if there's anything I've kind of left out that you wanted to share, and I've possibly haven't asked you yet, now's an opportunity for you to share a little bit more of if there's anything else that's missed out, and just to leave us with a few tips of what people can expect when looking into MKP.
Well, what I can say about this experience is that you will gain a connection with a brotherhood of men who are there to support you in whatever things are going through for you in your life. Whatever might be happening to you, there are men that are in these circles that want to help and want to be of service to you. That's what they're there for. They've gone through and they want to give back. Okay? And you would be joining this circle that's there to support you in whatever's going on in your life. Okay? And hopefully, over time, as you get what they have, then maybe you will start to give back as well. And you'll become one of these members. I can't say more about the fantastic brothers that I've met throughout my days in this organization. I've moved 27 times in my life. I've moved, 4 different times now. And each time that I moved, I joined a circle. And immediately, as soon as I joined that circle, I had a dozen friends who became, good friends of mine, who I could talk to about anything that was going on in my life. Okay? And they're there for you. And I'm so proud to be part of an organization that's like that has men who are there to support me and all these other men, and to transform the way that men are experiencing the world today.
Nice, that's beautiful. So, I suppose before we kind of wrap up, how can they get a hold of Mankind Project and where?
So online and maybe you'll provide that on your blog description. There's a website you can go to, and on that website you can click on iGroups or groups, and in that there's a listing of all the different groups that we have in Queensland. Okay. If you're outside of Queensland, there are other organizations within the Mankind Project throughout Australia that we could also help you connect to, that you can find connections by going to the Mankind Project Australia or entering that information into a Google search or something like that.
Cool. And you'll have all the socials on your website, Mankind Project.
Yes, all the iGroups are in there, right.
Okay, cool.
We also have a Facebook page that you can go to and see a lot of discussions, and we've recently been presenting some stories that men have, and also we describe, or there's actually a man that did a series that went through the Iron John, which serves as the backbone or the theme that we have for our New Warrior training adventures. It's really a hero's journey, and that's what Iron John was all about. So we have a 5-part series on our Facebook page.
So I'll add the link to the Facebook page and the website too on the descriptions down below. So Tom, appreciate you joining me today, man. So thanks again.
Thank you.
For joining me at the round table.
Appreciate it.